Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your January 2024 Astro Tarotscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It is an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Saggy, this is for you. But remember, if you're only going to watch one, make sure it's for your ascendant because these are based on the astrology. I use whole sign tropical Western astrology for those of you that would like to know, and your ascendant therefore is going to be that much more accurate. To a lesser degree, your sun and your moon still relevant, but unless you've got an unaspected sun, your ascendant is going to be that much more accurate. Now, with that said, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. But if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and this resonates, hit that subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So we're going to pop these to the side because those will be for your lunations, and we're going to pick these up. So the first transit that I want to look at for you this month, on the 4th of January, Mars, the planet of action, energy, passion, excitation, irritation, frustration, war and challenge and conflict, is coming into your second house of money, finances, resources, your values, your personal values, your self-esteem as well as the second house, but it's also your possessions. It's the things that you own, the money that you earn, that you save, that you effectively spend, and what you spend on. It's even your food, right? What you eat, what you like to eat. So around this time, on a really practical level, some of you could be starting to get really into spicy food. Who knows? Maybe you're starting to eat chilies. Maybe you're starting to have those little ginger shots. So they blend up like lemons, ginger, limes. Some people add a chili to it. Some people add turmeric. They're actually really nice, and they do give you a little bit of a zing. So maybe you're getting into something like that. Another way that you could see this, because Mars for you rules your 5th house, and it also rules your, where are you, Scorpio? Your 12th house. So this could be you starting to do some kind of, daredevil challenge for cleansing, etc. Now, on a more sort of, the level that everybody knows about the second house, we're talking about your money. So Mars coming into the sign of Capricorn, what you do need to know here is Mars is exalted in Capricorn, which means it does really good work here. Mars becomes less of a meat soldier, hacking away with a blunt sword, and becomes more of a surgeon, right? When he's in the sign of Capricorn, this is giving that really boisterous energy something to do. When you give a soldier his orders and say, I expect this to be carried out, they are, deadly, stealthy, they're amazing. So this is, Mars is going to, Mars is going to compete at the highest level that it can, but it's also going to behave in the best way that it can as well. Now, this is welcome news because Capricorn is such a dutiful sign. Mars in the second can see us burn through cash, right? Sometimes in interesting ways, but because it rules your 5th house, it could be in some kind of pleasurable way, or potentially even some, maybe even gambling or something along those lines. I'd prefer it to be investing. If it's going to be that you're burning through cash, put it in something that you can invest in, all right? And obviously do your research. Because it rules your 12th house, this is our bad habits. This is our self-sabotaging tendencies. So you just want to be conscious of that. Now, but because it's in Capricorn, I think Mars will behave itself a bit better. Now, Mars for you is pleasure and romance, but it's also your soul and your psyche, right? Your deep self, your past self. So this is a great time if you can get serious and reignited and regimented about your finances. You could do really well at this time, right? So if you can channel this energy of wanting to have fun, if you can make the boring stuff, Capricorn, if you can make the boring stuff a little bit more fun and enjoyable, that's pulling on that airy string, and you can focus your deep spiritual self and your psyche and override your temptation to self-sabotage, Scorpio, you can channel that Mars through the Capricornian trope, right? So start making lists and having fun with the idea of making money. That way you're going to not trick the energy, but you're definitely going to be working it in a way rather than it working you. All right. It's a good way to use this as a vehicle for financial success and movement. So for this, you've got the Seven of Cups. So really important here, because Mars is in Capricorn, you will have time and you will be that much more efficient about really doing what needs to be done. So right now would be a perfect time to write a budget. That Seven of Cups is encouraging you to go through what you're paying for and ask yourself, do I really need this? Is this the time to cancel that subscription, whatever it is? Then you've got the King of Wands. So in some way, shape or form, you show up in your reading. Remember, the King of Wands is usually a fire sign male, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but because you're a Sagittarius, whether you're a man, woman, however you identify, this suggests that you are, you show up in your own reading, right? So you're here for your finances. You've got this next to the Seven of Cups, so you do need to watch your spending, and you've got this with the Nine of Wands, right? So the message here with the Nine of Wands is whatever is making you feel less than, whatever is making you feel like you are not, we're not worthy. Does anybody remember that film? If you can tell me what that film is in the comments, you get brownie points. All right, so jokes aside, what this triplet is basically saying to you is if you can find a way to get wherever it is that you're lying to yourself, that's the Seven of Cups. Let's start there. Right? Wherever it is that you're lying to yourself about the way that you are seen or about the way that you value the second house yourself, that Nine of Wands is saying it's coming from a place of potentially PTSD. It's coming from a place where you are still wounded in some way. And rather than addressing that, you might try to just throw money at the situation. Well, now that I have highlighted this for you, you have an opportunity to go above and beyond that, right? And I invite you to take it. That way you can really get this Mars stuff to work for you. And it's really interesting, right, that those are the cards that come up, because Mars, as I say, you know, it's the ancient ruler of Scorpio, and so therefore is the ruler of your 12th house. Self-sabotaging tendencies, right? And then your second house where Mars is, which is your you know, what your self-esteem, how you value yourself. So because it's Mars, the ruler of that 12th, there's an energy of that 12th in this, right? So if you can really get past how you see yourself, how you worry about the other people see you, and start really digging into what those past hurts, challenges, fears, etc. are, it could go a long way to really helping you in some way. On the 8th of the month, Mercury in your sign, getting ready to leave your sign, this is at 24 degrees, is going to square Neptune at, I think it's at 24 degrees, I don't know, or is it I think it's 24 degrees, thereabouts. Anyway, right, Mercury is going to come into a square with Neptune. This is miscommunication to the highest, right? So Mercury's in your sign, so it will have definitely started to make you think more about pretty much everything, especially when it comes to your career, especially when it comes to your partnerships, relationships, contracts, significant others, right? Now, that's Mercury in your sign, where Mercury doesn't necessarily do great, but what we will say is Mercury exalts in the first house. So your thoughts definitely will have been more self-focused and self-directed, especially where your career and your relationships are sort of suggested. But then you've got this Neptune energy in the 4th house, right? And so these two coming together, especially in a square, it's miscommunication energy, right? So be mindful here, because there could be, you know, in a square to Neptune, in the 4th house, there's a chance for miscommunication, but this is around the home, family and property, and maybe what you want from yourself, what you want from your partner, what you want from your career. It's like these two, there's a miscommunication with a partner, with a significant other, with a family member. It is possible that this could be a big misunderstanding about how you are seen or how you desire to be known, right? There's something here about not being seen as yourself, which is really interesting with the cards that came up before, because the King of Wands is actually about your visibility. It's about how you are seen in the world, right? So for this, you've got the 8 of Pentacles. So this will largely have a lot to do with your work. You've got the Five of Pentacles, right? And really accepting that actually something needs to be mended or re-acknowledged or reassessed. And then you've got the Six of Swords, right? So there is a chance to improve this. I kind of get the feeling that in all of the stuff that you've tried to achieve when it comes to your career or your home or whatever, then there might have been a partner issue or some kind of burden at home that has kind of stopped you really being able to excel. Well, I can tell you as we come into the new year, all of that will start to improve, probably around late February, just to kind of put it out there. All right, so that's the 4th of the month, the 8th of the month, sorry. On the 21st of the month, Pluto, the Lord of Transformation, change, secrets, power, control, and all of those wonderful things is going to come into your 3rd house, right? So we already had a taster of this. March 7th to mid-July, I think it was about the 15th, between the 15th and the 18th of July, I believe. We had a little taster of this in 2023. Whereas here, it's coming back in for a much longer stay. It's going to go right, it comes in on the 21st of January, stays in right the way through until September the 8th. It's going to come back for 2 months into the sign of Capricorn at the very last degrees, and then we'll literally dip back into Aquarius, straight in for the next 20 years. Pluto coming into your 3rd house is an amazing and fantastic time for research and development. There's no, there are other placements where this could do as well, but I don't think here, because the 3rd house is the mind, right? It's your mind, so it's really going to sharpen and deepen your mind. It's going to see you gaining a forensic ability to use your words, to use your brain to extract information, right? Communication is about to take on a whole new depth for you. You are a great conversationalist anyway, and you are a people lover to the extreme, and people love you in return. There is a wonderful, boisterous, yet deep, yet friendly energy about Sagittarius that I personally absolutely love and always have. If I go back to 2 of my best friends in school were Jupiter ruled. One was a Pisces and one was a Sagittarius, and I loved them both. They both drove me fucking mental. Right? As I know I did them many a time. But I tell you, they are wonderful people. And I've actually known, and I know many Saggy people who are just genuinely awesome human beings, right? But this is about building and connecting with people on a daily level that really reaches the heart and soul of who you are, especially since Pluto for you rules that 12th house, right, which is the Scorpio energy. It's likely that it will do wonders for your intuitive faculties. You might develop a nose for hidden wealth and information. Pay attention to this transit because you can learn how to extract the goods out of things. So as I say, Pluto rules your 12th. Scorpio is actually a sign that has a lot to do with wealth, right? They'll have you believe that they're not interested in the material, darling, but trust me, they are, right? I can pretty much damn well guarantee it. But since it rules your 12th, and the 12th is a very psychic space of the chart, and it goes into the 3rd house of the mind, and Pluto has that deep, magnetic, very powerful ability to read the undercurrents. This can make you telepathic. This can really enhance your psychic awareness and abilities. It can also bring an intensity to your conversations. And, you know, from here on in, and I mean, and this is the thing, like, I know a lot of Saggies can do the surface stuff and, you know, just be happy and buoyant and stuff, but they can also be very deep as well. But this, it's almost like this is going to make you not a stick in the mud, but you might find over the next sort of, well, most of this year that people are like, okay, this is a bit deep now, you know, and they're kind of a bit like, what happened to the fun, light-hearted you? It's still there, but it's almost like you're not going to really care for that surface level conversation anymore. You just won't be able to do it. All right, so for this, you've got the Hanged Man. So there is a spiritual element to this, and it's important that you follow that one. You've got the World card, okay. And you've got the Devil. Well, holy shit. Look, this is powerful, right? I mean, it's Pluto, so obviously that word literally is a Plutonian word. The Hanged Man with the World suggests that you are going to start to really scrutinize how you spend your days, like on that daily level, and where you spend your time in terms of on the internet, in terms of the conversations that you have. You're going to start to get really selective about this, because the Hanged Man is reassessment and reevaluation. You've got this with the World, which is your communities, and then you've got the Devil card. This kind of suggests that January is going to give you this, like, but I really love the fun, but I can't do it anymore because it doesn't feel. You got to find your own balance, right? You don't throw everything away, but at the same time it does need to shift. All right, so for your fourth and final transit on the 23rd of the month, Venus, the lady of pleasure, leisure, harmony, abundance, money, resources, and finances, is going to come into your second house as well. Now, at this point, Mars is still here, so she's joining her celestial lover. And on top of that, Mercury is now going to be in the sign of Capricorn once more as well. Because if you remember, Mercury went into Capricorn in December and then retrograded out. Now, you've got 3 planets in the second house of money, finances, and resources. This is a pretty big deal because it's going to really amplify this energy of your money. It's also going to see you really rethinking what is valuable to you. And Pluto moving into the 3rd house, I think, is definitely going to be a big part of this. Now, what's interesting is Mercury is money. It's money. It's the flow of money. It's the exchange of goods, the transactional nature of money. Venus is worth, luxury, and, money from that perspective as well. So your second house is lit up at this time. Now, Venus coming into the second is always a very welcome energy because she sweetens the deal, and she usually sees us making more money, enjoying more of the pleasures of life. She's definitely, and she's in an earth sign, so she's already happy here because she knows what she's doing. Mercury is happy here because Mercury also rules an earth sign and an air sign. So these two are doing good work for your money. Now, this means that you could really be enjoying some of the fruits of your labor at this time, which is great. There's a huge concentration on your personal and planet energy in your second house, right? So Venus is your 6th house and your 11th house. This could bring benefactors in, but I would also say this is a powerful time where future plans and goals around work and career are starting to really make themselves known or felt for their money-making potential, right? And as I said, you're going to have a nose for this stuff moving forward, so use it. For this, you've got the 6 of Cups. It's really about following your bliss, right? It's about following your pleasure, the things that make you feel good. The 3 of Swords, knowing what to let go of and when, really, really important. And then the 2 of Swords, okay, right? So this is really about trusting that whatever feels like an injustice when it comes to money, finances, and resources in January, you have to find a way to let that go, because it means that the universe really does have something better set up for you. All right, so let's get into your lunations. Right, so on the 11th of the month, we are going to have the annual Capricorn new moon. And this for you is again in your second house of money, finances, and resources. So this is going to be a big money focused month for you, right? You've got a new moon here, so set intentions around your finances, what you want to get out of the year ahead when it comes to your money. Whatever intentions you set here or whatever things you set forward, you're likely to be collecting or at least seeing the seeds of this show up probably around the Capricorn full moon in July. Now, for your oracle card for this energy and this message, you have... Ooh, okay, that card seems to want out. So you've got the Gate 51 and Shock. Right, so with such an emphasis on personal planets in your second house of money, finances, and resources, are there likely to be some shocks, some changes around this? Yes, absolutely. Now, here's where this gets really interesting. The Gate 51 in the Human Design Oracle deck is similar to the Tower. This new moon is actually going to be in an exact trine to Uranus, in Taurus, right? So whatever you're setting into motion at this time, it could have a really amazing result, but it might come with potentially some kind of disruption as well. All right, now on the 25th of the month, we are going to have the Leo full moon. Sun and the moon opposite each other always at the time of a full moon, right? So the sun and the moon are going to be at 5 degrees of Leo. 5 degrees of Leo will be the moon, 5 degrees of Aquarius will be the sun. This is on the 25th of January, and this for you is in your 9th house. 9th house is a wonderful energy. It's an energy that you naturally know how to attune yourself to because your sign is the 9th sign. So you have an affinity to this house. The 9th house is lucky and it's expansive and it's future orientated, and it has a lot to do with higher wisdom, higher learning, philosophy, your belief structures. So there's a spotlight being shone on what you believe and potentially highlighting some kind of legal matter or proceeding. It could be as well if you've got a visa application going through, this could be a time where that goes through really easily for you as well. Now for this, you've got the gate 64 and confusion, right? So we get confused when we're not really utilizing the internal skills that we have, right? And so this confusion card suggests to me that this full moon in the 9th house is going to really get you to start thinking about your belief structure, to really look for the meaning in the tools, or should I say look for the meaning in life, but to use the tools that you have on that internal level, right? This is a full moon that's really trying to get you to understand who you are because of what you believe and what that is or isn't doing for you. Now, if you love the way that I do astrology and you are loving the Astro Tarot, then you can get a personal session with me on the links in the description box below. I've got a ton of free resources out there as well. You've got the life path videos that are up and out there for your viewing pleasure. You've got a whole bunch of resources, including the yearly overview for numerology, which is really important this year. If you don't watch anything else on my channel, make sure you watch that. It will give you some really juicy tidbits of what's likely to unfold this year. Now, that being said, it's been an absolute pleasure. Have a wonderful January. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.